Hello, my name is Chris Nims, Senior Vice President of Cloud and Productivity Engineering here at Capital One. It's a privilege to be here and thank you for taking the time to join me for this talk. I'm thrilled to talk about Capital One's tech transformation and our pioneering journey to the cloud. This year, we reached the pivotal milestone of exiting our data centers. We're now all in on the cloud. We're the first bank to report that we've exited all data centers. And if you look at the Fortune 150, the only other company who comes to mind that has made this kind of transformation is Netflix. I think it's really important to recognize that our migration to the cloud has been part of a much broader technology transformation journey that we've been on for a while now. Capital One recognized early on that the winners in banking of the future will be great tech companies with the risk management skills of a leading bank. They will build great customer experiences delivered in real time through software, data, and algorithms. With those underlying assumptions, back in 2012, we sought to completely redefine who we are as a company, to build a technology company that does banking instead of a bank that just uses technology. We embarked on the tech transformation on a number of different dimensions. We needed to become great at building software, and we needed the top engineering talents to do it. We reinvented our technology operating model to enable agility and innovation. Back in 2012, we sought to completely redefine who we are as a company, to build a technology company that does banking instead of a bank that just uses technology. We embarked on a tech transformation on a number of different dimensions. We needed to become great at building software, and we needed the top engineering talent to do it. We reinvented our technology operating model to enable the agility and innovation we need to not just keep up with, but to set the pace in the market. We moved to an agile model for delivering software and insisted on modern architectural standards like RESTful APIs, microservices, and building on open source foundations. We became cloud first, building everything new on the cloud. Today, much of the innovation at Capital One is homegrown and built first as a proof of concept. We're working on unique, challenging technology problems that will ultimately benefit millions of customers, and we're doing it in a way that hasn't been done in the industry. I'm excited to tell you about our journey and some of what we've learned along the way. Let me start by telling you a little bit about Capital One. We are a 25-year-old Fortune 100 company that's still founder-led. When you think of banks, you don't quite expect this. And this is one of the top things we hear from people about why they love to work at Capital One. The founder-led startup mentality can really be felt in everything we do, with a culture where innovation can come from anywhere. We have more than tens of millions of customers and 50,000 employees. We're a digital bank with a national presence, but don't have branches in most states. Capital One was founded in 1994 on the belief that the banking industry would be revolutionized by technology, by information, by data. We were founded at the same time as the dawn of the modern internet era, around the same time as Netscape and shortly before Microsoft launched Internet Explorer. We're known for being a data and tech pioneer in the financial services industry. And 2 decades later, our belief is stronger than ever. And we are seeing the relevance of this focus right now in the pandemic as businesses of all sizes grapple with how to engage customers at a distance through digital channels in the same, and perhaps even better, human and personalized ways they did before. When we think about where the future of banking is headed, we start by looking at how technology is changing our lives. The digital revolution is changing the world at an accelerating pace. Enormous computing power has given rise to new customer experiences. It's changed how we communicate, connect with people, shop, travel, manage our health and our money. It's changed how we consume content, how we entertain ourselves. This became incredibly apparent to me several years ago. I'd come home from work and my then teenage kids would be sitting on the sofa, legs kicked back, watching a tiny little phone screen while the 60-inch TV was hanging on the wall, turned off several feet away. Just look at the apps you use every day. What's common to all of them is that they provide you with instant solutions that are customized for you. What powers that? Tech companies that are built on a modern technology stack, leveraging the power of big data and machine learning in real time. Banking is headed the same way. Consumers will demand it. Technology competition will demand it. The challenge is banks aren't built to deliver those types of capabilities. We believe that delivering transformative machine learning products across the business will allow us to interact with our customers in a more natural, seamless, and accessible way. By moving to the cloud, we've built the foundation for the bank of the future. We can now build experiences that are powered by more data, available in real time with algorithms and AI. Digital adoption has only accelerated with COVID-19. We've all seen years of digital adoption compressed into months and weeks. Banking is ripe for disruption, and we want to be the ones who disrupt this industry. It is inherently an information business, a data business. We have a lot of data. It's a gateway to consumers' lives. We want to use data to enhance our consumers' banking experience. Banking is largely dominated by legacy players, legacy technology, and legacy business models. Capital One recognized early on that the winners in banking will be great tech companies with the risk management skills of a leading bank. With those underlying assumptions, we set out to completely redefine the company. We didn't start on day one knowing exactly how this would all unfold over many years. We knew that we were embarking on a massive transformation, and to be successful would require several things. First is the vision of where we're going, the destination. Second was needing the courage to make a bold move. Third was the tenacity and perseverance to make it through. Our goal was to get to this destination where we'd be faster and more nimble with new capabilities for our customers. Over the next several years, we comprehensively reimagined our talent, our technology, and how we work. This transformation was a significant effort that required every part of the business to come along on the journey. This is really about how we change our entire business model and our DNA as a company. We declared the cloud as our destination. That began with the declaration that anything new could only be built in the cloud. A fast follow was that we would migrate all of our applications with a goal of closing all of our data centers, something that we achieved this year. We also looked at how we were operating as we built applications, and we made the move to Agile and Devops. We didn't just do it in pockets, but instead, we made the declaration that we'd go all in. We completed that transition a number of years ago, and we deliver software changes at a significantly higher rate than we did previously. How we work matters. We no longer wanted to be a company where technology was something largely outsourced and bolted on. We knew it was time to bring the development of our applications in-house. To become great at building software, we needed to recruit top engineering talent. We took a multifaceted approach to raising our talent bar. Our recruiting efforts are focused on both experienced and college hires. We recruit the top engineering schools across the country. We have large pools of summer interns with the hopes that many of them will receive offers before they return to school for their senior year. We were thrilled that we were able to do this again this year, even with everyone working from home. We more than doubled our technology team over the last 8 years. Today, we have more than 11,000 technology associates. 85% are engineers. We compete in the marketplace for the best technical talent. Across Capital One, we've assembled world-class teams. We have bold product managers, intent on making incredible consumer experiences. We have visionary designers, brilliant data scientists, and full-stack developers who employ human-centered design. These amazing, talented, and diverse associates are gathered into agile development teams and are set loose to deliver transformative customer experiences. We believe in our associates, and we believe in continuously investing in them. One way we invest is to constantly encourage continued learning. To that end, we launched a tech college inside Capital One to support associates' ability to sharpen their skills. Our focus areas include software engineering, security, cloud, mobile, data, agile, and machine learning. In addition to hard skills, Tech College provides training around soft skills as well. Tech College supports 4 different development programs. The Technology Development Program, a 24-month rotational program providing recent tech graduates with a variety of learning opportunities. The Capital One Developer Academy, which is a 6-month immersive coding experience for non-computer science graduates. A Technology Leadership Development Program, which is a year-long program to develop future leaders, enable career growth, and enhance technical ability. And finally, the Elements of People Leadership, a 6-week program for experienced people leaders aimed at developing strong leadership skills. We have ambitious goals around training. For example, we have aspirational targets for the number of engineers who will get AWS certifications, and we're giving associates time to study. Over the course of this summer and into the fall, we've had a series of Invest in Yourself days, 1 day a month where there are no meetings, allowing time to focus. We've had numerous certifications completed over the past several months as a result of this program. In addition, we're rapidly moving towards every software engineer having a certified secure software engineering certification. We have an AWS Navigator initiative where we have AWS account team members who are solutions architects that lead tech talks and workshops tailored to Capital One in order to train up our technology associates in using AWS in the Capital One ecosystem. We also have AWS architects write blogs tailored to Capital One that get shared with our technology associates. We have an annual software engineering conference, CCon, where we bring together our brightest minds and have keynotes, demos, breakouts, and in-depth sessions with deep subject matter experts. AWS partners with us on initiatives like this, providing keynote speakers and subject matter experts who participate with our engineers. As I mentioned previously, as we went on this journey, we comprehensively reinvented ourselves. Our talent, our culture, how we work, and our technology infrastructure. We now operate a 100% agile model for delivering software. We needed to become great at building software, and we needed the top engineering talent to do it. So we built a scaled engineering organization. We decided we were going to be cloud native, and during our move to the cloud, we rebuilt 80% of our applications to be cloud native. As we moved, we insisted on modern architectural standards like RESTful APIs, microservice-based architectures, and building on open source foundations. I shared that after several years of intense and intentional effort across the entire company, we've just reached the milestone of closing all of our data centers. We are truly all in on the cloud, with AWS as our strategic partner, and for us, there's no turning back. You all don't need to be convinced of the value of using the public cloud. You're already here, and you're someplace along your journey. You know that it enables instant provisioning of infrastructure, rapid innovation, and cost efficiencies. Having exited our data centers, we are able to manage data at a much larger scale and unlock the power of machine learning to deliver enhanced customer experiences. When we decided to go all in on the cloud, we chose to solve the hardest problems first. One key early step we took was to establish a cloud governance function consisting of risk managers and cloud engineers to establish capabilities and controls that would keep us well managed as we migrated our applications. Some of the other primary enablers for our transformation included long-term strategic planning and a focus on education. The most challenging part of a large-scale transformation for a company in a highly regulated industry is building the technology governance structure and the culture. On the technology front, many financial institutions have structural barriers, such as legacy systems that have been in use for over 20 years. And governance is foundational. It takes time to develop processes that enable efficient code reviews. Reviews that need to be done by other developers, by legal, information security, and other stakeholders. And consider culture. Traditional banks need to challenge the perceived risks, such as loss of intellectual property, competitiveness, or productivity. To summarize, some of the benefits of migrating from data centers to the cloud include instantly provisioned infrastructure at near unlimited scale. Our applications can now use as much or as little computing and storage as they need, and we only pay for what we use. Costs can be lower. Third-party providers can realize economies of scale that we could not realize on our own. And with proper discipline and optimization, applications can run at scale for less than it costs to operate in a traditional data center. We get to plug into the world's innovation. New services are being introduced all the time, allowing us to leverage the newest tech immediately and at a significant discount to doing the same in our own data centers. And it has further enabled our shift to modern architectures. RESTful APIs, which allow different applications to work together using a common interface. They give easy access to data and functionality in a standard way, enabling increased delivery speeds. One API can be used by many teams and a critical first step in breaking apart monolithic applications. And microservices, which offer many benefits, including resiliency and stability, the ease of making and deploying changes, and less commitment to a single technology. Open source, which can accelerate delivery. Just consider the massive libraries of code available that you don't need to recreate from scratch, enabling more capacity to be focused on business features, increased innovation, and improved quality, given the number of eyes on much of this code. Devops, continuous deployment, continuous integration, and pipelines, enabling automated software development, agility and speed to market, increased pace of innovation for customers. It has enabled more frequent releases. Our teams went from quarterly or monthly application releases to releasing code to production multiple times a day. From 2016 to 2019, we increased application changes by more than 300%. We've seen a dramatic improvement in system availability and disaster recovery. Our uptime and system availability is better than ever, seeing a reduction in transaction errors cut by half. Critical incident resolution time has been cut in half. Time to recover from disaster testing exercises has been cut by 70%. And we've reduced time to build a new development environment from an average of more than 3 months in the data centers to just minutes. 2020 has been a heck of a year so far. Our ability to swiftly respond to the coronavirus and ensure our associates were able to remain connected and focused on helping our customers in this time was enabled by our technology transformation. Our shift to the cloud was a critical enabler for our workforce to remain connected and productive. We're able to actively monitor performance and dynamically scale based on need. From an AWS perspective, our ability to control and monitor our infrastructure through APIs allows us to do it from anywhere. We don't have to worry about manning our data centers or how we're going to get equipment and people there to add infrastructure in support of the crisis. The cloud enabled us to prioritize both the health and safety of our contact center agents and still provide critical support to our customers. Over 4,000 contact center agents are now working remotely with Amazon Connect, for example. As part of our technology transformation, we also focused on designing and creating physical and digital workspaces that foster rapid innovation, fluid collaboration, which are more important than ever at a time when the majority of our associates are working from home. Our use of Slack, G Suite, and Zoom were great examples of that. Our intentional decision to provide associates with choice of what devices they use, phones, laptops, etc., has also been a key enabler in this transition. Our digital capabilities also helped provide a foundation to better serve our customers during this time. This allowed our customers to take advantage of our digital banking tools and have 24/7 account access at this time. By accessing accounts online or using the Capital One mobile app, customers are able to make payments, view transactions, check balances, find an ATM, and more. And in most cases, it's easier and faster for customers to manage accounts digitally, especially given call time waits may be longer than usual. The cloud's flexibility, capacity, and resilient microservices architecture enable customer experiences such as the Capital One mobile app. We've combined the power of machine learning models with a cloud-based multi-region infrastructure to help our customers stay connected to their money anytime, anywhere. It's built using many AWS services, including EC2, Lambda, SNS, and more. Eno, Capital One's intelligent assistant. Our serverless streaming architecture enables real-time analysis, so Eno can identify unusual charges, such as a 40% tip, or being accidentally charged twice for one transaction in real time for millions of Capital One customers. It's built leveraging Kinesis, Lambda, DynamoDB, and others. Capital One Shopping, where we're using a modern service architecture, data streaming, and cloud technology to build customer-centric apps at scale. We're now well positioned to serve customers during what is expected to be the biggest online holiday shopping cycle in history, built using EC2, SES, and RDS, for example. So let's talk more about open source. We're not just consumers of open source products. Capital One made an open source first declaration in 2014. And that's when we made our first contributions to the open source community. We began contributing to open source software for a variety of reasons. To innovate more quickly by leveraging the talents of developer communities worldwide. To influence product roadmaps by providing leadership in communities instead of relying on vendors to provide feature updates. To gain access to a diverse pool of perspectives on programming and business problems. And to recruit new talent from communities of passionate people and retain developers by encouraging them to build their expertise. In 2015, we launched Hygeia, a dashboard that enables visualization of Devops metrics. Hygeia has been adopted by 160 companies worldwide, including Verizon and Walmart. Cloud Custodian was introduced in 2016. Cloud Custodian brings automated governance, compliance, and cost optimization to cloud environments, table stakes in a highly regulated industry. Now, more than half of Cloud Custodian contributions come from outside of Capital One, from engineers working at companies like Amazon and Microsoft. In August, Capital One contributed Cloud Custodian to the Cloud Native Computing Foundation to continue adoption and acceleration and to give back the open source community. Capital One's contributions to the open source community have been significant. Our developers have made more than 1,500 contributions to around 100 different open source projects. Our teams have released more than 25 of our own products, including Hygeia and Cloud Custodian. I've mentioned that we also leverage solutions introduced by other members of the open source community. For example, we've adopted Kubernetes, Prometheus, and Envoy, which are all hosted by the Cloud Native Computing Foundation. We've learned so much along the way. First, perhaps foremost as it relates to you, there's hope. We've proven that a Fortune 100 company and a highly regulated industry can make the leap from legacy on-premise data centers to modern architectures and delivery methods and being all in on the public cloud. Start with the hard problems first, tackle them head on. We initially focused on cloud governance so we could stay well managed. A few other things that we've learned. This isn't a technology-only initiative. You must have migrations be products-driven through business and tech partnerships. We found great value in pushing ownership to the teams wherever possible. And it's highly beneficial to organize around shared platforms and drive ownership through program-level initiatives. And building knowledge share and common tooling where possible to build collaboration across app teams and to reduce duplication of efforts. We were able to exit data centers because of our close partnership with AWS. We adopted the AWS Operational Readiness Review Framework, a framework that focuses on engineering review by distinguished engineers to look at all angles of an application's readiness to go into production, enabling security and operational resiliency, approaches to deployment and upgrades, monitoring capabilities, etc. Pre-COVID, AWS employees sat in our Technology Operations Center to monitor fleet health and respond to incidents, allowing real-time communication and collaboration with Capital One associates. And AWS provides training for our associates. In summary, here are the key areas that enabled our data center exit strategy. Governance. Although controls can impede velocity up front, it is critical to invest continually in tooling to implement and manage controls to have strong governance of your fleet. Throughout our transformation, we pioneered new standards, tools, and technologies, including developing our own software if there were gaps in the industry, like Cloud Custodian. Another example is us investing in creating a single common pipeline ecosystem that allows us to build consistent checks and expectations for getting code into production. Operational excellence. Cloud operational excellence is the ability to support the development of cloud workloads effectively while also helping the business gain insight into their operations. The result is continuous improvement of processes and procedures, which deliver true business value. Some of our best practices around operational excellence are expanding the shared responsibility model. Infrastructure as code, for example, or automated AMI rehydration. You don't need to patch systems if you simply replace them with fresh, up-to-date images on an ongoing basis. Regional resiliency. We perform regular business continuity and disaster recovery exercises. These have led to improved resilient architecture patterns with automated failover as we shift to active-active architectures. Finally, how we work. Capital One first shifted from waterfall to agile to enable iterative development. Devops was a quick follow-on, which shifted away from silos and into full team ownership. We leveraged AWS best practices around cloud architecture and fit them into Capital One processes to get desired outcomes. And we use shared platforms to enable uniform standards across the enterprise, eliminating duplication of effort. I'm excited to share that my colleague Danny Seeley will be giving a talk during the conference that goes deeper into our data center exit, so I encourage you to watch that presentation for more information. Capital One today is an entirely different company than it was 8 years ago. We've unleashed the power of our 50,000 associates and unlocked innovative new capabilities for our customers. We can't wait for what's possible next on the cloud. It's an incredible platform that offers nearly infinite computing power in real time and nearly unlimited storage at a cost approaching zero. Thanks so much for your time today.